Shall we begin?
Welcome to the Happy MonsterCast. I'm your host, Scott Marchand Davis of Happy Monster Press.
Let's begin now.
This week on the Happy MonsterCast, the colonial superhumans fight the British in the Battle of Bunker Hill. Previously on the Happy MonsterCast, the Sons of Liberty have assembled a small force of superhumans to assist in their struggle for liberty against the tyrannical King George. The superhumans defeated their counterparts, the Royal Superhuman Regiment Greycoats, in the Battle of Salem. Now the militia of Massachusetts has a new task: to bombard the British holed up in Boston and drive them out of the Bay Colony.
The year is 1775. The Battle of Salem touched off a firestorm of rebellion in the New England colonies. The British regulars have fortified themselves in the city of Boston against the ever-growing forces of the Massachusetts militia, aided by reinforcements from the rest of New England and in command of General Artemus Ward. Having a large British force in Boston with command of the harbor, however, is not terribly satisfactory for the colonists. And so Ward has ordered General Israel Putnam, his second in command, to occupy the Charleston Hills, Breeds, and Bunker Hill. Putnam orders Colonel William Prescott to lead 1,200 colonial militia, as well as the 5 of you, to occupy Breeds and Bunker Hill. As part of this reinforcement, they are going to fortify the hills and build batteries, which will allow them to bombard Boston and the harbor area with cannon fire, hopefully driving the British out.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's those pesky regulars are holed up in Boston, and that's just not going to stand. So there are a whole lot of colonists digging and building and hauling and such. And if you wish, you have the opportunity to assist them. And if you have particular abilities that might be useful for this purpose, you can use those abilities now and potentially improve the quality of the fortifications for the inevitable British attack. Would any of you like to do that?
Question.
Yes.
May I use my blasting abilities and whatnot to sort of like blow holes in the earth and sort of hollow out terrain, that sort of thing, to sort of landscape?
Absolutely. I was thinking of that very thing with respect to your power.
Sweet.
Go ahead and roll it.
Alrighty, blast.
Blast. Wow. Okay. So with a 14, that you are very successful in blasting away. You blast some large entrenched areas on Breeds Hill, which is exactly what Prescott needs. So he's using those trenches to provide passage for troops and ammunition from point to point along the hill.
This is real Hollow Earth, not some conspiracy. I literally hollowed it out.
Would anyone else like to assist?
I will. I don't know if my bolt skill is quite as appropriate as the blast, but I'll give that a try.
You absolutely can give that a try.
Here comes.
Still pretty good. Yeah, so basically, the two of you are going along, and Victoria is blasting away with massive fireballs that are creating these huge pits of earth. And you're kind of following along behind her and psychically flattening out the earth to pack it in to stabilize it with your bolts.
Flattening other curves.
Not
going there.
Pandemic humor.
Sorry.
Nature pick up a shovel.
All right. Would you like to make a repair or a strength check for that purpose?
Sure. Very, very hard.
All right, so you're setting a good example for the troops that just because you have superpowers, that doesn't mean that you're not going to pitch in with everyone else, and there's some morale benefit for that, certainly.
Okay.
Would anyone else
to raise people's spirits, just for them passages and whatnot, just to kind of instill faith that you're fighting on the side of holiness.
All right, so that's going to be the D12 and D6.
Okay. Yeah, I was just looking at my skills. I didn't know what would be appropriate, but I'll go ahead and just roll that. Oh,
That's terrible, but that's not so bad. Yeah. So people are listening. They're enthusiastic. They're digging hard.
I'm just gonna keep it like that. I'm not gonna change it.
Okay. And that just leaves Petanoit. Is there anything you'd like to do to try to boost spirits hereabouts?
I pick things up and put them down.
That accomplish.
Very, very helpful.
Yeah, so they're sort of looking at you askance, but yeah, it works. Okay, fine. All right, so shortly after you have begun to build the fortifications, word comes from sources inside the military governor's office in Boston that the British regulars, who you're beginning to refer to as redcoats, are planning an assault, and that they're massing a force of 3,000 regulars to cross the Charles and assault Breeds in Bunker Hills. Hearing this, General Putnam immediately reinforces as well, but he doesn't have quite as many troops available. So he doubles the original 1,200 to 2,400, but you still have a numerical disadvantage. On the other hand, the terrain is definitely in your favor. The regulars are going to be attacking across the river and then uphill in order to reach the fortifications that you've set up here. So the five of you, plus Paul Revere, because he's still in one piece and has healed up over the last couple of months, are ordered to assist in holding the fortifications of Breeds Hill. And as you watch the cannons on Breeds Hill fire, shelling but not hitting most of the boats carrying the redcoats across the river, and they land in Charleston and begin to march up. And they're marching northeast. They're trying to hook around Breeds Hill into the rear of the colonial forces. And you hear a single shot ring out from the left flank. The houses of Charleston are burning. Smoke is drifting out to sea, giving you a strange backdrop. The redcoats fire back a ragged volley, but with no apparent effect. And Colonel Prescott shouts, "Hold your fire! Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes."
Oh, that's a good line.
It is a good
I
line.
should write that down.
Yeah, we might want to repeat that sometime.
All right. So
Based on where the redcoats are moving, is there any opportunity for me to do any valuable reconnaissance and or surreptitious sabotage?
So here's how this plays out. In this case, unlike the Battle of Salem, it does not appear that the British have deployed any greycoats to oppose you. So this is going to be a straight up mass battle. So here's how that works. The commanders are going to make battle rolls, and based on the results of those battle rolls, that's going to determine both casualties and damage to morale on both sides. The colonists have some advantages because of their fortifications. The redcoats have the advantage of numbers and better terrain. So what you can do in the battle is you can make a support roll to support Colonel Prescott's battle roll. And that will be whatever skill you think is appropriate, and you narrate how you're using that skill to affect the battle. If you succeed on your roll, then you'll take a level of fatigue, but you will grant a +1 to the commander's battle roll. If you get a raise on your roll, you will be unharmed, and you'll have an opportunity to roll on the battle effects table, which has all kinds of cool stuff that can happen. If, on the other hand, you fail, you will be wounded. If you have a critical failure, you will also roll on the battle effects table, but you are doing a blaze of glory kind of thing, and you will take 1d4 + 1 wounds. So critical failure, not so good.
Use the bennies wisely.
Yes, well, as noted, you cannot benny a critical failure. As far as the supplies for the colonists, they have plenty of flint and shot, but powder is not in as ample supply as they would wish.
Is there a way we can fix that?
Not right away. The hope is that the cannon fire and the volley fire from the hill, along with the relatively steep contours of the hill, will hold the British back, but we'll see.
Alrighty.
Okay, so round 1 of the mass battle. We're going to go down the line based on the order that you are showing up in Roll20. So, Artemis, what would you like to do to support this, if anything?
Let me think about this Right. So the British are at the bottom of the hill and they are charging their way up.
The British are basically they landed here in Charleston, and they are hooking around the hill this way, trying to get to the rear of the colonial fortifications, possibly to split the forces that are on Breeds and Bunker Hill away from Morton's Hill, and basically divide all of the colonial forces.
Okay, so a question about Hunter's Path. This is going to tell me exactly where they're going to go, or is that skill that tells me where they have been?
That's a tracking skill, so it's where they have been.
So what? Then that won't. Because I was hoping that would allow me to do a little predictive action, predictive intelligence for where they're going to be. Instead, I think I will, being invisible. I think I will sneak down this area here. Are they coming around on foot or on wagons? What's their?
They are marching in columns at the moment.
And I will come down to a reasonably guarded position here, being invisible, and I will use a bolt. And I will blast the head of the column. Hopefully that'll tie them up and slow their march.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, is there any modifiers on this bolt roll, or just
Straight up bolt roll?
straight go?
Okay, that is a success. It will be +1 to the colonial battle roll, and but you do take a level of fatigue from bumps and bruises as you dodge the British musket fire shot in your direction. All right, next up is Clara.
So I'm going to stay with the forces, and I'm going to be a relatively good soldier and listen to my command. If I can sight whoever the commanders are, I'm going to try to make sure that I have them in sights and take them out. Then I'm going to hold action.
Okay, so is that going to be a shooting roll, or how are you?
It's going to be a shooting.
All right, go ahead and take the shot.
I have time to boost my shooting, I presume.
No, it's just a straight up roll. It's just a straight roll. This is a very abstract process.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, you knock off one of the staff for the attacking forces.
Yay.
So that means you
Nice.
can roll. Give me a 2d6 roll, please. And we'll see what that does on the battle table here. All right, with an 8, that is the Valor, so it's going to be a +2 to the commander's battle roll as usual. So nothing,
Nice.
yeah, nothing exotic on that one, but still good.
Okay.
All right, Pet know it.
I am going to state shift while starting my battle cry and preparing to charge the line.
State shift away.
At which point, everybody watches me turn into a horrifying 6-foot-something peat bog monster made of earth.
You said
No,
I should do it. I don't care.
I don't think it was a pink bog, although that's kind of awesome.
Pete.
oh,
Peat
okay.
bog.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, dude.
You can make whiskey with that, you know.
The man thing is now charging the British line.
Yes.
All that knows fear burns at the man.
Exactly.
All right,
Right.
all right, let's have it.
Oh, I need a roll for that, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Do. Dear virtual dice, please be better to me than you were last week.
That's not off to a good start. Hang on. Looks like that power isn't set up correct. Oh no, you need to roll the skill.
Oh, yeah, I'm rolling the wrong thing. Here we go.
Okay, that is not going to succeed.
Can I Benny that?
You can. That might do the trick. Let me double check the PowerPoint cost of state shift. I didn't set that up right for you.
Can I boost his trait?
In a normal situation,
Oh, no, self only.
Yeah.
You're right. Sorry. I'm
right? Yeah, that's a limitation that we set up for you.
Right.
Okay, shape change, state shift, power skill. So still going to be a failure. So you take a wound as the British, seeing you coming, just blast you with volley fire. All right, Victoria.
All right. So I was thinking of doing this 2 ways. The first really wacky thought I had was, because we're low on powder, I'm wondering if there's any way I could sort of use my blast power and maybe like touch a cannon or a couple with my hands and sort of channel that kinetic energy. So I'm shooting the cannonballs that way rather than people wasting the resources.
That is a very creative use of your power. I'll allow it, but at a penalty.
Fair enough.
So that's
Yeah, imagine sort of Gambit as he charges objects, and then sort of as she touches them, sort of setting the intent that explosive force propels them out of the cannons.
So I'm going to make this a little bit simpler. What you're doing is walking up to the cannon and blasting through the touch hole.
Yeah, basically, so that, yeah, they're not using powder. Yeah.
All right, so give me a blast roll at -1.
There you go.
No
Very
complaints.
nice. Yes. So that will also get you a 2d6 roll on the battle effects table.
Sweet.
The gunners love this. They
What's
want
the,
you. They want you around all the time.
Over here! Over here!
the damage die? 2d6, you said?
Oh, it's a 2d6 on the battle effects table.
Gotcha.
So that will have some effect, which could be a bonus or it could be other things. So let's see what you get on this. All right, that is also the Valor result, so that's going to add a bonus again to the battle roll for Colonel Prescott. All right, and last but not least...
I would like to assist with the battle tactics if I can. Like if there's-
Okay, yeah, make a battle roll.
Okay. My battle skill isn't great, but it's the best idea.
All right, that's good enough for a bonus.
Yeah.
But you will take a level of fatigue, as does let's see, anybody else take a level of it? As does Artemis.
I did, yeah.
So that will hinder you a little bit in the next round.
Okay.
So you're dashing back and forth like crazy, trying to make sure that to keep morale up and provide tactical guidance. So the battle rages, and as it does, you see that reinforcements are coming, and it looks like they're going to land at the creek mouth between Morton's and Breed's Hill. So it's clear the British regulars are fully committed and are heavily engaged here. Okay, so all right, so that's a 7 for the British, and a whopping 18 for the colonists. So the colonists are doing some serious damage here. They've managed to sink some of the boats, and they've partly neutralized the British force advantage. So that went very well. So now the battle rages on, and we'll go the opposite order this time. So Elijah goes first. What would you like to do?
Okay. I have a pretty decent shot, so I'm gonna aim up with some of my men. Shoot if we got people coming in. Help.
You definitely have people headed up the hill at this point. So yeah, there's targets in range.
Okay, so shooting then?
Yep.
I think I clicked it. There we go.
Yep.
I'm gonna, oh shoot, can I not Benny that?
No, you can Benny that.
I'm gonna Benny it. Why not? I don't know if I'll get better with it.
Yeah, same thing, 4. So that is good enough for a +1 bonus this round for the colonial forces.
Oh, cool.
All right, Victoria.
She's going to take a puff from her clay pipe and then put her hands out and say, all right, boys, let's go.
Okay, that's good enough for another +1, but you're getting a little tired from all this blasting. So that is going to give you a level of fatigue.
Fair enough.
All right, Pet Know-It, raging around in your shapeshifted form here.
Did I actually manage to armor up last time?
You shapeshifted. Yeah.
Okay. No, I wasn't sure if the failure meant I couldn't shapeshift.
No.
Okay. All right. How close am I to melee range?
You could be in melee range if you wanted to be.
So, I roll the rest of the way down the hill and turn into a human bomb.
All right.
Perfect.
First use of bomber.
Here we go.
All right. So that's going to give you a level of fatigue, but your detonation is effective. The fatigue is from you running naked back up the hill.
Naked hill run.
After
more loincloths this way.
After you blew yourself up and all of your gear in the process.
Blew all your clothes off.
For freedom with freedom.
I was a giant bog monster. My clothes were up at the top of the hill.
Ah, good point.
Right.
So there. How?
All right, Clara.
If they're not in attacking range, I'm going to continue to shoot, pick off officer after officer.
All right, fire away. That is going to fail. Would you like to Benny it?
Yes.
That is less fail. So that is going to give you a level of fatigue as the musket stock continues to slam into your shoulder as you fire as fast as you possibly can. But it does provide a benefit to the colonial forces. All right, and last but certainly not least, Artemis.
Okay, so the folks that were coming around this side, the column was stopped when I smacked them, but there's more troops landing here.
Yep.
Okay, and are they just foot, or do they have cannon as well? Parts or anything?
They are just foot at the moment. Not easy to transport cannon across the river on the small boats. However, you are getting cannon fire from the Royal Navy ships in the Charles River.
Will my bolt reach to the ships?
No.
And still being invisible, I will come down here to an advantageous position. I will scatter these guys.
Okay.
Not with that roll, I'm not.
Or perhaps you'd like to Benny that.
I think that I would like to Benny that, actually. Strategic move. All right, here comes again. Well, what does that do for me?
So that does provide a benefit to the colonists. So you guys have done good work in keeping the colonial forces in one piece. Let's see how the British fare. All right, so the colonists are doing really well. They are beating the British back, and they appear to have evened the odds, or maybe even improved them. However, Colonel Prescott comes running over to Elijah. We're running low on powder. We can hold these redcoat buggers if we can just get enough powder to keep firing. I'm going to try to do a slow pullback from Breeds to Bunker Hill. But there's powder across the river in Cambridge. If you can retrieve the powder wagons from the causeway and make it across, we'll have a shot at winning this thing.
Sounds like we have nothing else to do.
You can count on us, sir.
All right, so this has now this shifts from a mass battle to a dramatic task. The narrow causeway from Charleston to Phipps Farm is shattered by the explosion of a shell, driving foot-long splinters of wood from the rails. British warships rain shot and shell down on the causeway, attempting both to prevent a colonial retreat and to ensure no supplies or reinforcements can reach the battered colonial forces on Breach Hill. Sea spray washes over the narrow roadbed as a shell falls short. Traversing the causeway under fire will be no easy task. All right, you have to your job is to get wagons across the river using riding, or if you're strong enough to pull a wagon by yourself, which is probably D12 strength territory, you could potentially use athletics to bring the wagons across instead.
Well, I could pull a wagon, but I'm not very athletic.
I couldn't. I'm not qualified for either of those.
So this is a 4-round dramatic task, and in these 4 rounds, you need to collect 28 successes amongst you.
Oof.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's way too many. No.
I was going to say that's a
Pretty
lot.
dramatic.
No, it's 25. 20. You need to collect 25 successes among you in the 4 rounds.
Wow.
Well, that's slightly more than 1 per round for each of you. So again, the core skill here is riding because you're driving carts. But and it's not easy because the mules do not particularly want to cross this shelled causeway.
We persuade them.
Well, whoever's driving the wagon is going to be making riding rolls, and everyone else can be supporting those rolls, or you could have more than one person driving more than one wagon.
I barely have the skill. How are you guys looking with riding?
I don't have the skill at all.
I don't have the skill.
I have the skill and I can boost it. It's just not.
Yeah, it's not my.
I will support in the writing skill.
Yeah, I can support in writing because I have writing.
I can support too. But
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have it's not limited to writing for support either. It does seem like Clara has the best writing skill of any of you.
Great. That's sad. Nothing like a free slave girl. Now I gotta ride a horse.
You don't.
Well, writing is pretty generic, as with most Savage World skills. It covers any sort of animal handling, including driving carts and things. So it's a reasonable skill for most people in this era to have. All right.
Not me, apparently.
So before Clara makes her writing roll, we need the other four of you to decide what you're going to do to attempt to support this effort, which could be assisting with driving with writing, or it could be any sort of other skill that you can convince me makes sense. So we'll start with Artemis.
The cannon fire and stuff is indiscriminate, right? They're just shelling the causeway.
They are showing the causeway, although you've noticed that whenever any colonial forces try to cross, it does seem like they are aiming for them. But they're a fair distance away, so and smoothbore cannon are not precision instruments by any stretch of the imagination, so it's relatively indiscriminate even when they're trying to aim.
Right. So would it be plausible, still being invisible, would it be plausible for me to go over and interfere with their order setups?
You'd have to swim there, which is going to take some time. So I'd need an athletics roll this round, and maybe then if it's a good roll next round, you'd be able to get on board the ship.
Okay, let me do that. That's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay, so you're gonna swim out towards the ship. So I'm going to need 2 successes on athletics for you to pull that off.
Okay, here's roll number 1.
All right, would you like to Benny that?
I would like to Benny that. Okay, so that's running a little low on Benny's, but here we go. So this is, let me try that one again.
Okay, that's good enough to get you partway there in the first round of this dramatic task. All right, Pet Noah.
How fast do the carts go normally?
They're mule wagons, so not that fast.
Would it help if I got out and push?
Wouldn't hurt.
I'm going to get out and push.
All right, give me a strength roll then.
Does your monster dude have extra strength?
Sadly, no, he is not an extra strength monster dude. He has other special capabilities, like, for example, like he doesn't need to breathe, which is always handy.
He's more of a damage soak.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can I Benny that?
Of course you can, because it's not a critical failure. It just looks like one, because you're kind of messed up.
I am not a fan of these electronic dice tonight.
We need to get you a Dice Hate Me shirt.
Oh, man. Oh,
All right.
Wow.
So you don't really contribute anything with that roll. Do you want to spend your last penny?
If we don't get like 25,
Why not?
Here, double.
All right.
Oh,
what are you there for?
don't fall into the water and like sink into the mud or something.
Big money, big money.
Yeah, but fortunately, he doesn't need to
There.
breathe.
There we
Yes.
go.
There
All right.
you go.
That nullifies
Just
the
need to get annoyed enough.
with the 13. That nullifies the -2 penalty for driving the mules across. So it's now a straight
You
riding roll.
pick up the wagon and carry.
All right, Victoria.
Hey, Max Blast, one of those British naval ships.
If it'll take you this round to get into position to do that, but you had
I literally want to blow it out of the water.
possible, not likely, because your blast is not a heavy artillery thing, but you can give a shot at it. At a minimum, it's going to distract them, but it's going to take you a round to get into position to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
And Elijah.
I'm gonna stick to assisting with. I want to say riding, but my riding isn't great. Can I maybe, if there's any like, are the enemies far? You said they're across the river. Still.
Yeah, if you look at the map, the ship is slightly off. The ship that's firing is slightly off the south end of the map. See those lines? Those are the lines of fire from the ship.
Okay. All right. I would just do my best to backseat drive and try.
Okay, backseat riding roll, please.
Essentially, yeah. Oh, not bad.
Oh, that is excellent. With an 8, that's going to net out to a +2 on Clara's riding roll. So let's have the riding roll for round 1.
I'm a great backseat driver. Listen to me.
All right. Can I just boost my trait every single time here?
I will consider that it is boosted to a D8,
Okay.
but make the roll for it to activate it in the first
Yep.
place.
Oh,
So give me a boost rate roll first. Yeah, that's
I think I can boost.
Hey,
that's a D10.
Oh my goodness.
nice.
So give me a D10 in writing.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll a D10 then. So,
And don't forget you get your D6 wild die too. You can temporarily kick your writing skill up to D10 and put it back to D6 at the end of the evening if you want.
how?
Would I do that?
I will do that right now. Done. All right, you now have a D10 in writing temporarily.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Go for it. All right, that's your first success. You need 5 more.
Okay. 1.
All right. Well, no.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, not yet. New round. All right. I need another athletics roll for the swimming Artemis to see if he makes it to the ship.
come on. Be good to me. Be good to me.
You do make it to the ship, so next round you can start messing with them.
Nice.
All right, Pet Noah, are you still pushing?
Still pushing.
Give me a strength roll.
Seriously.
Ouch.
What?
Ouch.
With a 0, you don't really help.
Ow.
You're being dragged behind.
Okay, Victoria, you are in range to fire your blast at the British ship now. That is going to mess them up. So
Wow.
that's going to distract them significantly. You've nullified the penalty on the riding roll for this round.
Oh,
But you're basically you blast the deck, and British sailors are sometimes on fire and definitely distracted from their cannon fire.
Perfect.
And Elijah, are you going to do backseat riding again?
Yeah. I don't really have anything else. So let's see if this one pans out again. Oh, I don't like that.
That doesn't hurt, doesn't help. Do you want to Benny it?
I'm gonna Benny it just because I have 2 still. So I'll just roll the writing first. And then Benny it.
Yep, that does the trick. So that's a +1 on the riding roll.
Nice.
So let's have the riding roll from Clara.
Okay.
Oh, 2 successes with the +1 from your backseat driver.
Awesome.
neat.
Nice.
So you've got 2 rounds to get 3 successes now. And Artemis is aboard the ship. So how exactly are you going to mess up these British guys who are sometimes on fire and firing cannons?
Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to blast the mainmast and hopefully bring down the rigging and stop all of the cannon fire.
If you want to bring down the rigging, you're probably better off cutting ropes than you are blasting the mast. You're talking about a 3-foot diameter log.
Right. Okay.
Your typical bolt is not going to do a whole lot.
Okay, no, that's good. I mean, I'm still invisible, so I can easily, get up into the rigging and start slicing things.
All right. I would like you to make a common knowledge roll, since you don't have boating, to see if you can understand what's going to cause the most damage to when you're slashing at the rigging. And the 3 is not going to get you to the right ropes. Do you want to Benny that?
This is my last penny, so come on, be good to me. Be good to me.
Yep.
Nice.
So that is going to give a +1. So the riding roll is now only at -1. All right, Petanoet, still gonna push, or do you have any other ideas?
You have how many rounds left?
You have 2 rounds left to get 2 successes.
I'm gonna push.
Okay.
You can do this. You can do this. I have confidence. I believe in you. Oh, God.
What the? What is going on tonight?
Is that your last Benny there?
Yourself
The
like
second
a
roll?
baby.
No, that's a +1, so it's a straight riding roll now. Victoria.
Yeah, I'll give you the pen.
Sustain.
Back of
Okay.
my own horse.
I need the win. So.
Oh no, not riding roll yet. We need Victoria.
Oh, sorry.
Last. All right, now it's a +1 on the riding roll. So go ahead and make the roll. Elijah, backseat riding.
Let me see if I can.
Backseat.
Riding.
Fine.
That's really not going to do much. You want to spend your last penny?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Shot and shell are falling around you. Sea sprays blasting up. All right, so it's a straight riding roll.
Okay.
Come on. Here we go. You can do this.
You can do it.
Oh,
I am on my way.
Wow.
wow.
That
Wow.
will
The mules are like, let's go.
you lash you find a gap in the causeway and you lash the mules and they haul across the river and you deliver the powder reserves to the colonial forces.
Nice.
Well done.
And as a result of delivering the powder reserves to the colonial forces, the colonists are able to hold Breeds and Bunker Hill.
Nice.
Man, history turns on a turn of a dice.
Weird.
Yep.
Throwing history up all over the place.
Well done, team. We did it.
Wow, nicely
And
done.
Great.
with the cannons emplaced on Breeds and Bunker Hill, the British forces have no alternative but to evacuate the city, and so they set sail for Nova Scotia, and the Massachusetts Bay Colony is in rebel hands.
Hey, we not only saved Boston, we saved the entirety of Massachusetts. Nice.
Yep, which means that attention is going to turn to the next large concentration of British regular forces, New York City. And that's where we're going to pick things up next week.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Congratulations, you've changed history. So the next
I was gonna say,
That was fun.
winning that one.
so the next couple of things that happen are not going to precisely align with history. So you're in a slightly uncharted territory here.
Exciting.
Very
Excellent.
fun stuff.
Cool. Thanks.
All right.
Yep. All right, have a good
It was
one.
fun, guys.
See you next week.
You can follow Happy Monster Press on Facebook as Happy Monster Press, at our website, happymonsterpress.com, Twitter as Happy Monster PRS, or follow the podcast on YouTube, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play Music. The Happy Monster Cast is part of the Savage Worlds Media Network. This game references the Savage Worlds game system available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at www.peginc.com. It is unofficial media content permitted under the Media Network Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings and unique characters, locations, and characters, logos, and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. All other content is the intellectual property of Happy Monster Press. Background music is Ice Cold by Jason Shaw.
Oh.